as per your demand, dear children, as per your queries and as per your feedback, your request for your all questions to be answered, we have requested your faculty to be present, and I'm personally very grateful for them to oblige us, and they are present here for your benefit. We have amongst us Professor Amreen Aga, who's the academic dean for undergraduate programs. We have Heptullah Adam, ma'am, who's the dean for all master's program. On other hand, we are accompanied by Professor Shweta Sen, assistant dean for international collaborations. Questions on study abroad and exchange programs will be addressed by her. We have Hemlata ma'am, who will be answering all your queries regarding career related questions will be answered by Hemlata ma'am. So I am leaving this platform open to all the students present here to please start with your questions one by one. Welcome all of you. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Induji. So we would request students to maybe raise their hands and ask questions or put it in the chat box, whatever is convenient for you. And the sooner we go resolve your queries, the better it is for all of us. Yeah. So we can start now. Please raise your questions if you have any. There are no queries?
There are no queries, students. It was on your feedback that we had to arrange. Yeah. There's one question from Ramanan. May we know about the recommended reading list mentioned in the last session?
Okay, so who's this? Ramanan. Yeah. Thank you for that question, Ramanan. We will assign your mentors to you, and by next week, certainly, or by the end of this week, and you will reach out to your mentors requesting them for specific reading list of your interest, right? So each year we have student mentees and faculty mentors, and they share this correspondence between the two before we begin our session officially. And you can show your interest in particular subject or area or topic or issue, and the faculty will be glad to share the readings with you. Yeah? Have I answered your query? Thank you. Any other queries?
Ma'am.
Yes, Ashika?
I wanted to ask, does Jindal have, different societies in the university for extracurricular activities?
Yeah, the culture is very, very vibrant, in fact. And it's not only, that's why we say you learn outside the classroom also, because you have several societies. It's dramatics, it's sports, it's you have small reading groups also. So you can even start your own society and of your interest, and wherein you have a pool of students. And the culture is very vibrant in terms of extracurricular activities on campus. So once the campus opens, I believe you will have a lot to do apart from academics. And also online, in the online mode, there are students who keep organizing events of their particular society. So there is constant engagement, which will surely keep you busy, and you'll find your interest here. And a wide range of things, from writing, from sports, dancing, arts, drama. All of that is available for students to engage in. Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am. And does the university also participate in inter-college fests and stuff like that?
We have generally for sports, we know that students go for inter-university or interstate, competitions. But in terms of other activities, no, I think so. It's very specific to the university. The society is working within the university. Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah.
Ma'am, I have a question.
Yes, please.
Does JSI have a student body, like a student government?
Yeah. We have a student council, and each year we have elections for that. So you have a president. We have 4 posts, right? Heba and Shweta. We have president, general secretary, cultural secretary, and so you have representatives from all the programs. Now that we are expanding in terms of, like, we had BAPS last year, and now we'll be having other degree programs. So we have student representatives from all these programs, right? To have an inclusive student body, student representation, right? So we have a good student council.
What are the powers and responsibilities vested in the student council, and like, can first years be part of the student council?
No, it's not first years. It begins from second year, right? So you can run for elections from second year. It's a medium, a connection between, you are like representatives, right? So you bring in issues of students to the faculty, to the academic office, and we raise the issue with the faculty. So it's almost a channel, and you are a very important point of this communication between students and the faculty, right? So that's one important power that you hold, right? I mean, all students would come to you for whatever issues they have, and you will reach out to the academic office, and then we will raise your concern. It's very democratic. It has that kind of exchange between students and the faculty.
Yeah, and 22 student council has already been elected. So the next election will be in March, in 2022, next March. So maybe by next year you can
be eligible.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, okay.
I want to take one addition is that from the first year, we usually have the student representatives for the Office of Career Services. So maybe in case you have a career, kind of a association, and then you have the kind of queries and suggestions, there you can participate in your first year. And from second year, obviously, you can be elected as a student council member.
Oh, okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah, also he can be class representative if you would like from first year. Yeah.
Yeah, you are CRs, right? That too is based on elections. And there's a question on UPSC preparations. So UPSC particularly, we do not address it as like we are not preparing you for UPSC, but the kind of curriculum, the course structure that we have will of course take you towards that, right? And because the academics here is very rigorous, and to find time for UPSC at this stage in your education, I think so it's difficult. Of course, it will train you. It will give you the, imagination and the knowledge to basically work towards that. But it's not like we have a separate focus on UPSC particularly. But yes, you can approach individual faculty members who would be happy to guide you as to how to go about your aspiration. That bureaucracy and whatever you aspire to be in the UPSC.
Anshita had a question about semester exchange. So,
how does the GG?
Where is it? How does the go about the selection? Oh no,
no, it's above
form. So how are the students? Okay, so student exchange program, we have two sorts of program. One is the semester exchange program, where you go to an university for 1 semester or 2 semesters for the most, and then we have dual degree program, which is a longer version of the semester exchange program. So in semester exchange, we have at least 30 partner universities now from Latin America, Southeast Asia, Northern America, those sort of places. And if you are particularly interested in a university where you think they are providing you a unique sort of course that will help you, you can go there. Or sometimes people go there to learn a new language, or they polish up their existing knowledge of the new language. So that is why a lot of our students go to Spain or Argentina. So semester exchange program are 6-month exchange programs where you don't have to spend anything or at the partner universities. Like, you don't have to pay the tuition fees. You only have to pay your tuition fees here, and you have to pay the accommodation and all that cost over there. So this is a very popular program. That is one thing that the students usually, our student body really appreciates. So this last semester, we have sent 15 students for semester exchange program. And dual degree is, you spend half of your academic year at Jindal and half of your other academic year at your at the partner university. So at the end of the day, you will get 2 degrees from 2 universities. One is Jindal, the another is, say, University of Leeds or Edinburgh or Geneva School of Diplomacy, whatever you choose. This is, the selection process is sort of, this we usually, these students whom we sent abroad, they're representative of us, right, of our college. So we make the selection process very, very, it is a selective process. So there is a certain amount of GPA that you have to have. Then you have to write a statement of purpose where you have to clearly mention why you want to go abroad. So this is the most crucial step. And then we have an oral interview, and then we select the participants. Again, last semester, 35 people applied, and out of them, 18 people were selected. So we make sure only the best are our representatives. So that, I hope that answer your questions.
Okay, so there are several questions. Thanks, Shweta. One is, Kumku, I'll just go back to your query again to UPSC. I'll just suggest you, because I come from JNU, it's almost like a hub for UPSC, right? And the minimum degree that one should have is that of master's. So I would suggest you to always take up your master's first, and then even think about preparing full-time for UPSC. Concentrate on your bachelor's right now, because these are foundational courses and very important to understand or take any of your academic or professional journey, right? So it's very important that this is not a terminal degree. Get your master's, and from there you can actually understand what subject do you want to even appear when you appear for UPSC. What is your choice when you take UPSC as a conscious choice of profession? And apart from that, there are other queries. How does the college go about with the selection procedure for providing internship for students? Hemlata ma'am, would you like to answer this on internships?
The question is from
Samyukta.
Okay.
Yeah.
How does the college go about the selection process for providing internships to the students? See, Samyukta, what we usually do is, as you soon will join in, so we will have a kind of an open house. Plus, we will also ask you the kind of organizations you want to go in for. For example, the students will say that we want to go for a think tank, maybe for an internship, or the NGO, or a corporate, or some the consultancies per se. So we will give you a pool of the organizations who are needing the interns and their requirements. For example, somebody would be requiring a research intern, for example, or somebody would require a content writer in a media set of organizations. So we'll give you the kind of opportunities coming from similar kind of organizations, which you give it in your career mapping, like the mapping sheet, okay? And from there, whichever set of organizations you wish to apply in, you can obviously send your CV, and chosen from the set of organization, or chosen from the kind of internships offered from the organization, and we will send your CV to them. Then there is a kind of an interview or a selection process from the organization. It is kind of an induction as in what are the organization just doing, and what are they actually expecting out of that internship. So once that matches in, they select you for the internships, and then you go forward for it. So that's how it works. It is according to your choice, and the requirement of the organization, we try to match in, and you take up the internships.
Thank you, ma'am. And there's another question. Does Shashi Taru lecture at the university often? Yes, you'll find him more often here than anywhere else in the world. So yeah, he comes here quite often to lecture. And I think so we generally have him once a year. At least in the time I have joined, I think so I've seen him lecturing, delivering lectures. So when will college reopen? God knows, and nobody else. But yes, I don't think so. We are ready for this semester, the coming semester, basically, right? Because we know the situation in India specifically, and the whole problem of vaccination and things like that. So for now, for the coming semester, at least 90% I can say it's not official, but 90% I can say that it's online mode, and you will of course receive intimation from the registrar's office as to what the final announcement, how we are proceeding. But as far as my understanding goes of the situation, we will be online. And Aisha, can you please suggest some books or reading list for political science? So yeah, there are a lot of things that we study in political science, right? You have comparative politics, you have electoral politics, then caste and class. So I think a basic book that I would suggest all of you, because I teach Introduction to Political Science to Baga students, and also I am from political science background. So very basic text that all of us are given is Andrew Haywood, and it's about ideas and ideologies. That is a basic text to get clarity on all the concepts and theories. So whether it is Marxism, feminism, liberalism, you will find everything. It will actually give you a basic understanding of this concept. So once you get that basic understanding, a hold on that, you'll be able to pick up more heavy, dense readings. Like for instance, you'll be taught Amartya Sen and the Argumentative Indian. Then you have things like Zoya Hassan's book on party and party politics in India, a very important work. You have also Yogendra Yadav, right? So these are some very important for electoral politics. So first, I would suggest is you pick up Andrew Haywood, start reading on that for both the students, Baga and BAS, because it's a foundational text for anyone getting into political science or IR, right? So you will get all your conceptual clarity. And once you have a hold on concepts, you'll be able to apply them as you move forward in your semesters, in your academic journey in JSI. Yeah? So, and also when we assign you the mentor, maybe you can write to the mentor and request the mentor to share a few readings with you, like we did last year. So you'll soon receive an email from the academic office assigning you your mentors, faculty mentors. Yeah. Okay, Ananya. And then what's the next question? Shweta, Professor Sen, there's a question for you. Let's say that I'm interested in a semester exchange at a university that is not partnered with JGU. Will JGU aid in such a situation?
The short answer is no, because this is a huge administrative process, this partnership. And because of the partnership, the visa application process and the process of getting to the country becomes easier, right? So no, we only work with our partners, because we have to do course mapping. There are only certain courses that you can take, which will be validated by us. So there is a validation process involved as well. So yeah, other universities we cannot help. And there is another question about semester exchange. So if you don't mind, Ambreen, I'm just going to
please take up.
What is the criteria students need to fulfill for semester exchange? There are two criteria. One is you have to have 6-point GPA, which means out of 8. So go for B+ at least in every subject, every course. And the second one is you cannot have any disciplinary issues. No complaint against you. So keep that in mind. So academically, you have to be strong, competent, and of course, your behavior matters a lot, not for semester exchange in particular, in the university as well. So yeah, those are only two objective criteria that we have. And to you, Amreen.
Yeah, thanks, Shweta. So, Hemlata ma'am, there's a question. Could you elaborate on GGU's internship ties with the United Nations?
Yeah, and there is another question from Anshita also on a similar, that I want to aspire for the United Nations.
Okay.
So I'll answer for both of you about the ties and the association with the UN system. See, in general, usually we have many people who have already worked and served in the United Nations. So if from the professors to the dean, even I have supported and worked with UNDP for a while. So what I'll tell you is that UN is usually looking for a master hand for an internship, right? So I am not saying that, for example, UN Global Compact. Okay, so this is a smaller body of the United Nations, which even have chosen few of our bachelor students, but then you'll have to compete with somebody who is a master student, right? So it is that JGU has got really good tie-ups with the United Nations, but what I'll say here is that they prefer a master hand rather than a bachelor hand. But then in case you're very extraordinary academically, or your interest has been into that specific area, then they will consider you for the same. So there is nothing which is like a written kind of a collaboration that they will be hiring X number of students. But yes, they are very open to students coming in for a specific interest. So that is, I hope that answers my the question from Ramanan. And Anshika, yes, we do have, you have a dream career of working at a United Nations. As I mentioned, that they usually prefer a master hand. But during the course of your, 3 years with Baga, and in case you even choose a master with JGU, we do have several career sessions coming in from the faculty who has been working with the United Nations, or from the department heads from the UN bodies. So there you can be, just getting a guidance that in case I have to sit on a UN chair and that is my dream career, how the kind of subjects which I should choose in my masters, or what is the path which I should be taking it. So that will certainly, it is not impossible, obviously. We always say that impossible also says I am possible. So, but then what we are trying to say here is we will take you through and handhold, and even we will get some of the career sessions being planned in, where you can be guided on for your dream career.
Also, for Anshita, for Baga, there is a course in semester 3, Introduction to the United Nations System, taught by Professor Mohan Kumar. And so you will get a full course talking about United Nations System. It would be a good opportunity to pursue your dream career in the future after you complete your Baga.
I want to add some points as well. So there is an MA in humanitarian policies that we are starting right now, which is very related to the UN organization and how they work. And we have several electives that will connect you to the UN system. For example, say there's a peace design lab. There are conflict analysis classes, etc. So if you want to work in the policy section of the UN or similar organization, you may want to take up peace design lab, that elective. If you want to work on conflict related issues, then there are certain electives that you can take. So electives is a pathway for you to build up your specialization. And also for MA, if you want to pursue MA, we have an online program on humanitarian policy, which in collaboration with ICRC, Red Cross, which will probably help you to get there as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks. I think the ICRC thing is very interesting, right? And also just a reality check for all of us. To get into the UN, you actually have to crack the UPSC. So the direct way for a dream career, it would only come from UPSC, right? So it's not like even if you do a PhD or whatever, to get into UN is very, very, very difficult, right? That's a problem of the institution. That's a problem of the organization. So you, of course, as Professor Heba said, Mohan Kumar teaches, and he's a former diplomat, right? He's been in the WTO negotiating on India's behalf. So you have to be part of the system to actually get into a career job. If you want a full-time career, becoming an IFS officer is one way of getting into that. What do you say? Into the UN, or becoming, because that's, I mean, I am telling you a way which will actually help you reach your career dream. That's a basic idea, right? Either in IFS or into an IAS, you need to have this kind of an affiliation to be able to get a full-time job in the UN, if that's a career. But if it's just an internship or working for a while as a researcher, then of course all of this will help you, right, to get connected with the people. So that is very important, because UN is, as we know, quite a difficult organization to get into, and it requires a lot of contact and things like that. So I think so aspiring for UPSC would be, bureaucracy would be one way of getting into that. Okay, there are other questions. Could you describe a typical day for first year student in the university? How the atmosphere inside class and how students choose to usually spend the free time. So yeah, the atmosphere is quite fantastic for the students. And it's engaging because of a lot of rigorous academic work, right? And B, you have also a lot of time on campus, chilling around with your friends. And even you have the tapri point, just to be a little casual, to let you know. The late night tapri point, where students go at night, which opens at 12, I think so, in the night. And you have your friends, building friendships and contacts. I think so that's the best part of growing up in a university, right? Living on campus is a different feel altogether. So you have societies, as I just told you, where you can engage, and a lot of curricular activities. So it's a very vibrant campus. And you'll have a lot of avenues to engage yourself in apart from academics per se. Yeah. So, okay, will the hostel fee be waived if it's online? I'm not qualified, I think so, to answer this question. Who can take up this question? Is the hostel fee waived?
Miss Indu can take this question if she can.
Yes. Induji, can you take up this question? Unmute yourself.
The child wants to know.
Will the hostel fee be waived if it's online? So if
it's yes. It's on pro data. Yes, it is on pro data basis. If the child is having online classes, the fee will not be paid for that duration.
Okay.
The hostel fee will not be paid for that duration.
Okay. Thank you, Induji. And there's another question. 1 second. Is there a course specifically on diplomatic practice? We have this diplomatic practice, right? Is it in, but it's in masters, I think so. Or is
it is elective for master, yes. Diplomatic practice. Yes.
For masters, the diplomatic practice course. But I think so the course that Professor Heba mentioned in the beginning, UN systems, that will also give you some experiential knowledge, because you'll be taught by a former diplomat, right? So you will get an idea, but there are electives, if not a core course on diplomatic practice. Could you type down the author you just mentioned here? Manan, I'll just put the list of the scholars, right? Just after covering these questions. Yeah, we have a library, right? So the library is also very rich, and you will have access to the library physically, of course. Also, you have remote access, wherein you have certain online versions of the books, which you can request to the librarian and acquire, right? And largely faculty would provide you with the readings and the books that they are prescribing in the course manual. But yes, you have access to the library. What's the basic difference between BA honors and global affairs? So we have this. I'll share basically the link, I think so, on this basic difference, right? We worked on the basic differences between a BABS and the BAGA program, which is more global in its orientation, right? As you see from the very name of the degree program. Political science is more about domestic politics, regional politics, which does not mean you do not see other countries. Of course, you have courses like comparative politics, and you would study that. But the core, the essence of a BAPS, a political science degree, is to basically look within in your own system, yeah, your own political parties and how regional politics works, the whole the relationship between race and caste and all of this. So this becomes a larger part of the BAPS, what do you say, degree program. And we have a website page where that particularly addresses this question, the difference between the two. While the whole nature of education in general is interdisciplinary, right? So there is a lot of cross discipline learning, and we do not exist in silos, right? There is a lot of, so when you will take electives, you will take electives from across schools, and also from faculties teaching political science and political science students taking electives from faculties teaching, what do you say, BAGA and MADLB. So it's not like we exist in silos, it's an interdisciplinary, the nature of learning is interdisciplinary, right? But there are a few differences, of course, because the focus here is more on Indian politics in political science, yeah. Like you have papers like Topics in Indian Politics 1, Topics in Indian Politics 2, where you cover things like secularism, nationalism, and all of this, right? And in BAGA, what happens? The first semester and the second semester are the foundational semesters. So if I am teaching political science to BAGA, I'll cover all of these aspects: nationalism, caste, secularism, multiculturalism, in one particular, course. And that is a foundational course for BAGA. But for the political science students, they're going to expand on these ideas. They're going to expand on these concepts throughout their academic journey in BABS, right? So if they are studying, they're being introduced to a concept like caste in the first semester. That would be expanded later, right? As you progress in courses like Topics in Indian Politics 1 and Topics in Indian Politics 2, Media and Politics, Civil War and Politics, so all of this is there, right? So which is, I think, some more interdisciplinary, while the focus is, of course, domestic politics here in political science. What would be the strength of BA political science? So far, I think so the strength is 38, if I'm not wrong. Right, Induji? We have now 32 or 38 students. I just asked you before the session and I forgot.
It's correct. Yeah. It is correct.
Okay, thank you. So yeah, so far we have 38 students in BAPS, and placements after BA, it's rare and not advisable, Kumkum, because you may get research work, you may get into think tanks, but for longer term, it's always important to complete your very important degree, which is master's. That's a minimum. And of course, maximum can be till PhD and so on and so forth. But BA is actually not advisable to get into the job market. It's a time when you study, you engage in academics, right? I mean, personally, I would not encourage, but you would get some placements which are which may be for short term, maybe, right? Because the minimum criteria for anybody hiring looks at the terminal degree. So we would search for a master's first. A master's would always get a preference, right, over a bachelor's. So, and what kind of placement are you looking for even after the bachelor's? I don't know. I mean, if you could actually specify what do you want to do after the bachelor's? That's important. We will be able to get time during the grad. Yeah, you will, Yuvraj. You will have time to see the kind of training that you will get here. Of course, here we have very critical training, critical thinking, right? You are made to question. And as far as UPSC is concerned, civil services is concerned, it will give you the knowledge, right? It will give you the readings required. But your eventual training would come once you enroll yourself in a master's degree and also enroll yourself in a, not even if not in a coaching institute for UPSC, you will get that what do you say, training here, right? You will get that kind of how to question and how to the whole tact in UPSC is to first have your foundation strong. And unless you have your foundation strong, you'll not be able to crack UPSC ever. So it's very important that you focus on your bachelor's program and see what subject do you want to choose for UPSC. Is it philosophy? Is it political science? Also see the success rate of the subject. Which subject basically gets more of UPSC? What do you say? How many people qualify from a particular subject? I mean, whether it's once upon a time, it was of course history. And I don't know what's the rate right now for history. So choose your subjects wisely. And once you get into that subject, do your bachelor's, see your reading, see the curriculum of for civil services, match the things, and you have ample number of faculty members, right, who can always guide you. And if you want, you can of course take the UPSC coaching, which of course trains you in that particular method of writing, because UPSC has changed over time. It's become more of objective, at least objective first two papers, more mathematical, and which was not there earlier. So of course, you will get that kind of training and knowledge, because you'll be reading things like Zoya Hassan, you'll be reading things like Lloyd Rudolph, Suzanne Rudolph, and these are important names specifically for political science. Yeah, so to get your grounding in these concepts. Is the law making no, I don't think so. Anybody of you, Shweta or Heba, this question talking about elective from across schools, is the law making in UN from law school taken by Dr. Taru? I have no idea.
He can opt, Raman, he can opt electives from us.
He's asking, does Shashi Tharoor, right, Ramanan? I don't know. That's what I understand from your question.
So in the last meet and greet session, Professor Chaulia mentioned that there was a elective that was titled something like lawmaking in the United Nations.
Oh, maybe then, yeah. If he has mentioned that, maybe it was there where Dr. Tharoor. Yeah, Heba?
The list of electives that are floated every semester, it changed from one semester to another. So it is not guaranteed that this course is going to be offered.
Yeah, so electives are
2021.
Right. So electives depend on the faculty, whether they are offering that elective in the semester or not.
Oh,
okay. Yeah. Okay. And what's the strength of Baga class? Baga is generally bigger. The last good number that we had was in 2019, where we had 117 students. Then we came down to 75, and I think so we are aiming for 75. So for now we read 60, and maybe we will have a good intake. So you can take from 70 to 100, right? Baga class strength.
But it will be divided into two sections. So
of course. Thanks, Eba. Yeah, you will be divided into two sections of 35 or 40 each. Yeah. Does GGU have partnership with Ivy League? I don't think so, but I would leave it for Dr. Sen to answer this. Shweta, if you could take up this. Does GGU have partnership with Ivy League universities? Sorry. Is she there? I think that she's not there, but as far as I know, we do not have any partnership with the Ivy League universities. Yeah? But of course, we can work upon that. But had she been here, she would have responded, given a more concrete answer.
But also, all partnerships that we are having are already listed on our website, so they can go through the website and check if you are having partnership or not.
There's another question for Shweta, which is signing partnership with University of Edinburgh and King's College. Yes, they are. We are in the process, and it will, in all likelihood, begin from August. No. Heba, when would it begin? Once we sign the partnership or with the universities, it takes at least a semester. So if we are working on it right now, it will certainly begin from spring 2022, right? If not August. So anyway, you cannot apply for the semester exchange now. So by the time you come to your semester exchange period, which is the last year,
last year.
Yeah, we'll have this in place. So we are in conversation, and a lot of things has been done. Or it will be applicable from spring 2022. Yeah. Anything else? Any more queries? Okay. No more queries, which means, right? That's good. So we'll assign your mentors and work on it, send it to you by Friday maximum, by this weekend, maybe. And you can reach out to the faculty. We'll request the faculty to reach out to you. Just in case they do not, please write to your mentors and ask whatever queries you have. Otherwise, you have all these offices operational, right? We are there. You can write to the academic office and get your query solved. A career option after political science, Naisha, very honest. Should I be honest? Should I be sweet and nice? I think so. I'll prefer being honest, because what career options can you think of? I mean, after political science, really, I think so. What is very important is get your master's. That's the minimum for a student, right? That's a minimum criteria. Also, it's not only about getting a job. It's also about your long-term satisfaction, contentment with job, right? So a BA in engineering can get you a job, but that too is not always very satisfying. And you have this, what do you say, very high rate of dropping out of jobs also after BA, right? So I think so what is advisable for you at this stage, at this point in your careers in life, is to take education very seriously, right? Take your BA political science degree, then move forward to your master's. By the time you come to your master's, you'll be able to actually think as to what you want to do, right? You'll be able to make up your mind whether you want to go for higher education, whether you want to get into professional training, and please take a master's degree first. A BA political science degree can offer you, I don't think so it has very high prospects in terms of jobs. And what is important in a job? A job means growth, right? Growth within that organization. With a BA degree in political science, even if you, for instance, join a think tank or join think tank is not possible, because for think tanks you need to have a PhD, right? That's a minimum degree. But or even a master's. But for instance, you want to get into research, social work, how far will you go with a BA political science degree in your career? I don't think so that will take you very far. That will actually lead to a kind of exhaustion after a point of work, right? Because you'll also want some internal growth in that organization, and that can only happen once you have your degrees in place, once you have your experience. You can definitely take internships, you can take smaller work stints, but just to switch over for work for a long term, I don't think so that's advisable. So I'm just repeating myself. Please think of pursuing a master's. That's the minimum degree where you can think about getting into the workforce, right? A BA is not advisable. I would not advise this to anyone to go.
Just to add to Ambreen's point, she raised a very good point, and also make sure that you always have a plan B. You know, this is a social science field. You have to be very, very realistic about it, right? So in case UPSC does not work out, you have to have something you can at least make sure that you have enough capability to go and work at an organization, a human rights organization, a policy organization, etc. So your job right now is to make yourself as multifaceted as you can. And this is what Jindal is. Jindal will not prepare you for UPSC to be particular, but academically overall, it will shape you.
Yeah.
And I think that matters the most at this point. Yeah, and to you, Audrey.
Yeah, Shweta, there was a question I answered. Just correct me if I'm wrong. There was a question that we signed partnership with University of Edinburgh and King's College. So I said it will be functional from spring 2022. Maybe it takes a semester, or is it longer? Is it before? If you can just address this. You're mute.
Edinburgh will start from next semester, so next fall. King's College, if it happens, it will also start from next fall. And somebody asked some question about Ivy Leagues. Is that what
yeah. Do we have partnership?
Yeah. So Ivy Leagues, in Ivy Leagues particular, we have Oxford partnership, summer school program with Oxford. One is with Fletcher. And the other one right now we have with Barclay. Barclay, we have semester exchange. So summer school is very, very, very short, like 4 to 6 weeks, whereas semester exchange is one semester you have to spend at the partner university. So yeah, that's particularly in Ivy Leagues, we have this theme.
Okay. Thanks, Shweta. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I mean, like after MA, what can we basically do after pursuing political science as a career? So there are a lot of options for careers then, right? You can get into, there are people who get into journalism after political science, after doing a master's in political science, and you can get into research think tanks. But eventually, again, it depends as to what you want to do particularly. You can, the chances of UPSC are higher when you get into your master's program or after your master's program, right? So these are various options. And then if you go for higher education, of course, then you have academia open for you. Right? So there, as you progress with your degrees, your options only widen. And one such, I think so think tanks and research institutes are very, some of the very important things that students generally want to get into. You have risk analysis. That's something very popular, I think so, among the younger generation. A lot of our master's students have got into organizations that engage in risk analysis, right? So mid-cat advisory, and you become political risk analysts. So you get that kind of training here. Take your bachelor's, take your master's, choose what you want to do. You'll only find your interest once you are coming close to your master's, right? Maybe you really want to get into academics full time and you want to go and pursue a PhD. So you apply abroad and or you study here, wherever you want to go. So I think so there are wide options, and from journalism to a PhD to research think tanks to becoming political risk analysts, the choice is wide. And we are all political scientists, oblique IR related quote unquote experts. So yeah, we've all found our field. I'm sure you all will too find your field. Just give time to your education. Focus on your education.
Even in the embassies, there are political desks. So you will be sitting there. Maybe the academic institutions like CII, FICCI, and the federations and the business consulting firms, they also, look forward for somebody who has got a political science background. So the scope of the political science after masters is certainly there. After BA, yes, as Professor said, that we'll be looking forward that you do your masters first.
Okay, so
there is one hand raised, Ramanand. There is one, Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, please.
It's probably too late for this. I've already been admitted into the Baga class, but now I'm like considering BA Political Science too. So the thing is, I want to become the Prime Minister of India, as it sounds, but
nice.
I want to know which of the two courses will offer a more wider scope for me.
I think so. Get into political science. And now that you've taken Baga, and I've already stated that interdisciplinarity is one thing that is our hallmark, right? We are not working in silos. But political science will, of course, make you more engaged in domestic politics, right? And it will be fun, Ramanan, if you contest for elections, right? And we get to vote for you. So anyway, I think the political science will be vote for you, but you also get those subjects in your Baga. So it's not a loss if you're in Baga, because you get all your foundational courses. You get your pol science, you get your philosophy, economics, name sociology. So you get all of this, which is important for understanding Indian politics, right? Which will help you. So once you have your clarity, once you have your foundation strong, you can do anything basically. So get your foundation strong either in Baga or in BABS. Of course, you will have your way, right? You'll find your way to becoming the Prime Minister.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. So there's a question. 1 second. Strength. I just mentioned it's 38 for now, and numbers rising, hopefully. Yeah. So we are 38 for BABS. We are 60, 58 or 60 for Baga. Yeah. Okay. There's. Okay, fine. Any more questions? Ramanan, do you want to ask something more? Your hand is raised.
I forgot to lower my hand.
Okay. Any more queries? I'll just put that link here, the difference between our BABS and our Baga program, which will give you a clear understanding, right?
Any chance I can shift now from Baga to BAF?
Who can address this question? It's an important question, right? Induji.
Admission.
Yeah, Induji, can he make a shift from Baga to BABS, Ramanan?
Yes, they can.
Okay, great. So you have an option of shifting to BABS, right? Because it's more engaged in domestic politics.
Yes, ma'am. So can I think over it and contact Indu ma'am about it?
Yes, certainly, certainly.
Will I have to
Yes,
take
yes, that should be, there should be no problem as such.
No, thank you.
Heba, I am not able to find that difference between BABS and Baga. We had a link. Can you please share it here?
Yes, sure.
Thank you. So there is a direct message. I'll just reply to that. 1 second.
While Heba is sending you all the links, I just want to say a little bit about BABS. So BABS has two components. One is Indian politics. So you will learn about electoral system, India's political development from 1945 from 1945 to now. Etc. caste politics, the variables that affect Indian politics in general, etc. And then the second component is comparative politics, where India is the basis. So you will be comparing India with other countries. For example, if you take a class on comparative politics, you will compare India's political system to, say, that of Brazil. What is working there, what is working, what is not working here, etc., etc. Then if you are taking a class on social movements, then probably you will compare India's Chipko Andolan with another environmentalist Andolan outside India. Like, how are they getting inspired from each other? What is the theory that can explain it? The rise of indigenous struggle, etc., etc. So that is BA in a nutshell. So India, no matter how you will see it, always be the basis of your knowledge, either individually or comparatively. Whereas BA Baga, I think Ambreen will be able to tell you more, but it's more international relations. Much more interdisciplinary. You will learn about sociology, you will learn about history, migration, etc. So the international issues that is affecting the countries, the world as a whole, and in India. Does that make sense? I hope I
Yeah.
yeah.
Thanks, Shweta. So I think so it's quite clear what is pol science and what is IR, right?
Yeah.
What is global affairs. So make your choices wisely, see what you want to do, and you'll not be at a loss in whatever degree program you enroll in. We have the same faculties offering electives across, right? So by the time you actually come out with your specializations, so you choose your specialization, what is the cluster you want to fall into, peace and conflict, economic development, there are 4 to 5 clusters, and then accordingly take your electives, right? Which may be maybe a core fact, or somebody teaching a core course in MAPS would be offering an elective that you are interested in while you are a BAGA student. So it's like you walk through the what do you say, the courses. While of course what Shrishata specified that it's more about domestic politics and also looking outwards through courses like comparative politics. Yeah. Is there anything else? Any more queries?
So I think there is no more queries.
Hinduji, what shall we do now? Since all questions have been well exhausted and addressed.
There aren't any more questions from the students?
No, they seem satisfied.
Dear students, do you have any other question? Because this is for you. So all the queries, you need to get them clear right away. Otherwise, we'll have to wind up this session there, otherwise. Any raised hands more? Any more raised hands?
No questions, ma'am.
Wow, great. So there are no queries and you can reach out to your faculty, mentors and get your queries addressed. And then of course you have the team. You're well acquainted with the team now, right? So you can write an email and get your queries resolved. Done?
Let's wind up then.
Yes.
Okay. So I, on my personal behalf and on behalf of everyone, would like to thank each one of you faculty who's here from different to quench the queries of these students. And maybe somewhere in June last week, we'll have for masters this program. Even if there are say around 32 students or 33 students, at least those are being benefited, and the word will spread out to others as well. From them, it will spread out to others. So with that, I once again thank each one of you for being present here. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Induji, for organizing this. And thanks to all of you for your curiosity and making us also come here, right? And address your queries. Bye-bye. See you all.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
So much.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Induji, I have a thing to ask. 1 second.
I think we are live. So
Thanks, Eva.
okay.
Yeah, you're the always you are always letting me know.
Yes.
No, step down.
Ajay ji, can you please stop the live? Ajay ji?
So it's actually related to the admission process.
Can you please stop the live now?
Okay, ma'am. जी मैं रिकॉर्डिंग बंद कर दूं?
हाँ, बंद कर दो।
रिकॉर्डिंग भी बंद कर दीजिए।